Bitch, you guessed it. And we got high. Shanty take. Cheers. So much love to the bitch squad. You know I like to hydrate. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not welcome, oh my god. Alright, today I want to talk about premonition versus manifestation. Premonition, manifestation, premonition. What? Are they the same thing? Are they not the same thing? Now, if you're here watching this, chances are you are extremely gifted. Maybe these gifts are just kind of coming online. Maybe you're just starting to bring awareness to some of this stuff. Or maybe this is something that you've been doing for a long time. You're super well versed. But this is something that's been coming more prevalent in my world currently, or over the past, little chunk of time here. Is, what's the difference? The difference between premonition and manifestation. And so what I mean by that is, if I had a vision, I might have had a vision, right? And now with that vision, whether it's a dream or a waking dream, a sleeping dream, whatever that is, and we're going to get into some different ways that information can come through. But how do I know the difference between a thought form I grabbed onto or received that then it could have manifested into like a vision, blah, blah, blah. Again, I'll get more into that. And then the thing happened. Did I have like a predictive moment? Or was it that I was focused on it in that particular time, in that particular way, that the thing happened? Like I manifested, I created it, okay? And if this is a new concept to you, welcome. And if it isn't, welcome. Now, I'm not saying that I know exactly what the difference is when the shit's going down for me, okay? But I've had some time. I've had some time to really kind of look at this and navigate and really kind of like self-analyze what the difference is for me. And I hope that this is beneficial for you, because this shit's like no joke, especially right now. I've been hearing from clients and colleagues and friends that this is a real pressurized experience currently in this particular time and space on this planet. And that comes with all kinds of stuff that's like amazingly beneficial, and then stuff that can potentially invite some overwhelm. Yeah. So I'm really intending that this whole channel alleviates some overwhelm for y'all, for the B Squad. Even if it's just like because of community, but I really hope that a lot of this information feels beneficial for you and is helpful, and that's my goal, that's my dream. All right, so one of the ways that I receive information is I get a stomach ache, so I get a clench in my solar plex, but to the point where I start to have almost like a cleansing, right? So it activates some organ purge, and I poop. I'll have diarrhea, like straight up. Sorry if that's too much information, but I know other people have this too. Oftentimes people will have diarrhea or pooping when like they're nervous or anxious or something like that. Okay, so this is very similar. Right, so I'll get a clench in my belly and a wave of what some might say could be anxiety. I start to shake. My nervous system goes like, whoa, bitch, here, buckle up, here we go. And I've worked on my nervous system for so long, and I'm so well versed. And so I know what's going on, but it doesn't mean it won't stop me in my tracks, okay? So hear that. It's like, I don't care how much you've studied or experienced or whatever, there's still going to be stuff that stops you in your tracks, and we want that, otherwise this shit would be fucking boring. we don't want to interject any fear, right? So I don't feel fear in these moments, but I do kind of feel like, oh, whoa, holy shit, here we go, buckle the fuck up. And over the years, what I've learned about myself, and I hope this is beneficial for you, is that this is very much a predictive moment. This is how I have tuned my radio frequency, my dial, the tuner, into a song that's a few songs down the set list. Yeah? All right, so I'm able to maybe not gather all the information, but I know something's about to fucking go down. So buckle up, all right? And so again, we have solar plex activation, a tightness in the belly, nerves, maybe even sweat, okay? So this is an indication of a premonition, okay? And sometimes, well, a lot of times that can be paired with an actual clear vision of what might be on the way. And I have those as well, but I have a little bit more command over my like visionary process. So if I'm doing a reading for somebody or for, something like that, if I want to look into some information, and as far as that goes, that's when I really bring like my vision in, and I'll either see it like a dreamscape thought process, or I'll actually see an image playing almost like right on the back side of, or the inner side of my eyelids. Yeah. Okay. But this in particular, what I was talking about, like the premonition versus manifestation, is like, because I've had this like, oh my God, like I had this wave, did I create something? Because hands down, every single time I have an episode like this, something goes down that's pretty hardcore in the not too distant future. I mean, like an hour, right? An hour, 2 hours, like pretty soon. But yet, not. It feels like enough time to prepare for something, even though I might not know what that something is. Okay, so if you're getting these hits, whether it's something that's clear or a body activation, what I would invite you to, kind of check out, and I hope this is helpful, is your belly getting activated? Do you have a stomach ache? Do you have a backache? Are you clenching anywhere in your system? But specifically solar plex. You could also be looking here at the throat. Like, is there a contraction happening? Yeah. All right, and now, because that's an indication that you have clued in on something that's imprinted in the future timeline, or along the way in the timeline, past, present, future, blah, 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 that's perspective, hey-oh, okay. So there's that little chunk. And now manifestation, because I get this a lot from my clients too, and I've had kind of like gone down this road, it's like, okay, well, was I predicting that, or did I create it? Okay. And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up the episodes that I get when I have the stomach ache is because regardless if you get the image or not, chances are if it's something you've manifested, it's not going to have the sharpness to the belly activation. Yeah. Or the sharpness of really any activation. That sharpness, that acute kind of like punch to the gut like moment during something that's almost like that's a little bit more predictive, isn't quite typically there. Doesn't mean that it can't be there for you if you're someone who gets that like the hit of the manifestation in this way. But typically, in my experience and all the things that I've been through and all the things that I've studied and all the people I've worked with, is that manifestation, it has almost like a little bit more dispersed energy without a clench and contraction. It's a little more, or a lot more spacious, dispersed. There's more of a grounded effect. I'm doing this because it's like, okay, I'm in alignment and I can kind of like see and then project, and through that kind of aligned projection, I can root down and ground, and then from there, if I hold that vision long enough to become the matched frequency to the thing I desire, or even that I've received the thought stream of, I can then call it in a particular way, right? And sometimes that particular way might not match the exact kind of vision or thought stream, or sometimes it can. Yeah, okay. But again, that is typically less tight belly activation. Typically, you're not going to get like a purge experience. Again, that's like, not everybody has these predictive psychic talents. Everyone has the capability of intuition, but what I'm referring to is a little bit different. It's an extra gift, we'll call it, to get the specifics of a predictive moment, and then you can really take that into deliberate manifestation. But sometimes, especially, I mean, and I'm not new to any of this, but I still get kind of like, I don't know what I want to call it. It's not necessarily like a manifestation by default, because I'm pretty aware most of the time. All right, I'm typically not completely running on autopilot, or I've rewired my autopilot in a way where it's typically more beneficial than not, if that makes sense. But yeah, so manifestation, right? It's like I had the vision, I had the experience. It's hard to determine what was what. Did I cause the shit that hit the fan? Was it predictive? Was it manifested? So, you do you. I would love to hear in the comments how this lands with you. I know it's kind of like, it's a little bit of a wild topic to grasp onto, even for me as I'm delivering it. But it feels so important because it's been coming up for me, and it's been coming up for other people in my life of like fuck, dude, like I'm getting these waves, I'm getting these hits. It's like, did I cause that? Did I create that? And on one hand, of course, we create all things in order for us to have a specific experience that contributes to the learning process and our soul's evolution. But we can get clued in on stuff which is different than a deliberate or by default manifestation, and that's these predictive kind of psychic fucking moments. And you could get that hit from an imprint in a space that you're in, or a person that you encounter. Okay, so I, again, like as I'm kind of like talking, like I'm receiving so much information to kind of like divulge, and it is a little bit tricky to organize as the information is coming through. And I'm gonna imagine like listening to this and watching this is kind of like, what is this bitch talking about? But I think we know. Even if we don't know, we like know. Do you know? I know. So I hope this just kind of like sparks some interest, and maybe you've been going through something similar. I would love to hear it, but I'd love to leave it here where it's like a psychic predictive moment a lot of times can feel more activation in the belly, okay? And can actually have like a purge effect. Not all the time, and not for everyone, okay? And the manifestation, like, did I cause that, right? Or what did I create? I did that, a manifestation is going to have more of a spacious, dispersed activation as opposed to a sharp and acute activation like a premonition has, okay? So you know what I mean? I'll give you an example just to like make things a little bit clear. I was at a restaurant, okay, not that long ago, and I got the hit. My stomach, I got punched in the gut with the hit. I was like, oh fuck, like please don't have to like fucking poop in this restaurant. I was sweating, I was getting the clench, all of them. Like, okay, shit's about to go down, okay? And sure enough, a few minutes later, there was another customer in the restaurant that just fucking assed out on the floor. Something happened. I'm not sure if the person had a heart attack or whatever, but the paramedics were called. It was a whole big fucking situation. And as soon as that happened, the feeling dispersed. Even though it was pressurized and there was stress and there was commotion, the feeling totally was just like gone, because I had a predictive moment where I knew something was going to go down. I didn't quite know what it was, and there it was. Now, Did I cause that for that person? Did I cause that situation? Did I manifest that? Well, I mean, on one hand, I called it in for a particular reason, known or unknown to myself, right? That's literally everything. But it wasn't like, oh my God, I had this hit and therefore I caused that scenario. If that makes sense, if that difference is clear. And I'll continue to do my best to bring clarity to the difference of that. And thank you for bearing with me as I kind of like whittle this all into fruition here. But that was, that was a more recent example for me. Like, oh, dude, here it fucking comes, predictive fucking hit, and there it is right there. But sometimes I'll get like a flash, and like a flash of information, and I feel like that's me receiving a particular thought form that I might have already clued in on through the basis of my own desire and what I have going on vibrational frequency wise, like in the foundation of what I got cooking. And I could focus on it a particular way, and then some shit unfolds. It's a match to that, but because it has more of that dispersed energy and activation to it, as opposed to that like gut punch acute activation, I can go like, oh, I was really kind of like molding the clay here with that. How can I play and even have more command over that? Or have even more command over the thought streams that I am receiving to focus on, to then, reveal in my 3D circumstance. Yeah, because that's more manifestation. All right, I'm gonna shut it up now. So much love to the bitch squad. Cheers, mama. This is just ginger water, and I'm fucking loving it. And I'm loving the bitch squad. Okay, let's cheers. I'm swinging to the oldies. I have like a mustache and my glasses keep sliding down, and I'm just like also here for it because why the fuck not? And I'm here for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for fucking listening. I appreciate you all so fucking much, and I'll be back so soon. Satnam. Fuck yeah.